All right. This video I wanted to talk very quickly about the Federal Reserve Bank. And if people have even been paying cursory attention over the years to what's going on, it would be more than obvious that the Federal Reserve Bank is an enemy of the United States. And by implication, because our currency affects all other currencies, and the reason that this has been a global financial crisis has directly to do with the Federal Reserve, an enemy of the entire human race as well. Now, I wanted to talk very quickly about Operation Bernhard, okay? And for those history buffs out there, you know that the Nazis were just rolling in the ideas, rolling in the schematics when it came to different aspects of warfare, different ways to kill people. And they came up with the V-2 rocket, right? Which is the world's first guided missile. They had the world's first jet fighter, introduced near the end of World War II, a little too late apparently. And they just have an entire encyclopedia of either top secret projects or projects that were scrapped for various reasons. But one of these operations was called Operation Bernhard. And what Operation Bernhard was it was a plan to actually create, and they actually did create these notes. They were found in the bottom of a lake after World War II, and correlating documents with them, to actually create authentic but still counterfeit British pounds, and to actually fly them over to the English countryside and major population areas, cities, and drop these counterfeit notes, right, onto the population. And once it was found out, right, with all of this money blowing through the street, that this counterfeit money had been injected, currency injection of counterfeit money, right, that it would automatically cause the British economy to come to a screeching halt. And that it would be a direct attack on the British economic system. And then, of course, they would have to surrender as a result. So it was definitely an aspect that they had conjured up. Now, they actually did produce these bills. And there was actually, I believe, 131 million plus in British pounds that was created. And in today's money, I mean, I don't know how much money that would be if you want to include the cost of inflation over the years. So if they actually got away with their plan, right, they may have actually won World War II using counterfeit money as an economic weapon. I definitely encourage people to look up Operation Bernhard. Very interesting. So let's go into the future. Let's fast forward to 2002. All right, newly appointed Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernake, also known as Helicopter Ben, right? There was a lot of fanfare, a lot of jokes about his speech, where he basically declared that he would fly around in helicopters and drop, I guess, pallets of money, right, onto the American people, right, flood out into the market to keep interest rates low. All right. Now, you know, I got to be honest with you. I don't really see how Helicopter Ben, right, flying around dropping money out of helicopters is really any different than Operation Bernhard. The difference is this, is that Bernake actually got away with it. And now we're seeing the repercussions in the real world. So even if you don't take that connection with the two there, I mean, just the idea, okay, that the Federal Reserve Bank is not federal, they have no reserves, and are actually a foreign banking conglomerate who has been entitled to print U.S. currency, which they have no right to do, right? The U.S. Congress is supposed to print the currency, according to the Constitution. You guys remember that, the Constitution? So we actually have a foreign power that is financially attacking the United States of America. with counterfeit currency. The only difference is they sit up there, they do it in a suit and tie, they sit behind a microphone, and there's a lot of flashing cameras in the background, and people agree with them. Oh, okay, we must do this, right? We have to do this. But there really is no difference between Operation Bernhard, Helicopter Ben, right, and the actions of the Federal Reserve, okay? No one even knows how much money the bailouts, plural, which started in the latter days of the war criminal scumbag Bush administration, right? Let's not forget that. Nobody knows how much money has been looted from the American taxpayer, all right? Amounts put it upwards of $28 trillion. Nobody knows. Nobody even talks about it anymore, all right? It's a footnote. So when it comes to the difference between Operation Bernhard and actually physically printing these counterfeit notes, all the Federal Reserve does, right, is go to the U.S. Treasury Secretary, get those pink Treasury bills, sign on the dotted line, put in a couple keystrokes, and hit enter. Okay? When you hear about these billions and trillions of dollars in the aggregate that are injected into the world economy, and we're talking about all countries, we're talking about China, we're talking about the EU as a whole, okay? It's not like they're printing the money, putting it in trucks, and sending it off to safe locations where the money is going to be stored to be used at a later date. That's not the case. It's all fake. It's all counterfeit. Only 3% of the money in the entire world actually exists in cash. Think about that. And it's probably going down as we speak. So I wanted to go ahead and break that down. And the Nazi plan of Operation Bernhard has been succeeded. All right, it's actually come to fruition in the latter day. But it came to fruition on a scale much further, much more of a scope than the initial plan just to attack the countryside in Great Britain during World War II. So I want everybody to remember that. When they see these people sitting up behind a microphone, people like Geithner, people like Paulson, people like Bernanke, people like Greenspan saying, well, I didn't know. They knew exactly what they're doing. They should be arrested and thrown in prison. Tried for their crimes, of course. And then thrown in prison for the rest of their natural lives. Anyway, so I wanted to put that out there. Definitely interesting research. People need to look into Operation Bernhard and realize that what is going on today is exactly the same thing. It is no different. The Nazis have succeeded in their plans.